Dan is a science fiction fantasy comic book series created by American artist and writer Richard Corben. The story revolves around the adventures of a young man named David Ellis Norman, known as Dan, who is transported to a distant alien world. Richard Corben created Dan as a protagonist of a short film titled Neverwhere while working at Calvin Studios, an animation company in Kansas City. The film is animated with framing sequences filmed in live action. Corben's boss at Calvin played the main character in the film. Corben drew the entire animated sequence by hand in his spare time. Years later, the story would continue in comic book format. Richard Corben began working on the series in the early 70s. He had already established himself as a popular comic book artist with his distinctive style of highly detailed, surreal, and often grotesque artwork. The idea for Dan came to Corben after he became interested in science fiction and fantasy literature, particularly the works of authors such as Edgar Rice Burroughs, Robert E. Howard, and H.P. Lovecraft. He was also influenced by the underground comics movement of the 60s, which challenged mainstream comic with more adult themes and subversive content. Corben has said that the character of Dan was partly inspired by his own experiences as a young man, including his own feeling of alienation and dissatisfaction with the world around him. He has also said that he wanted to create a character who was not a traditional hero but rather an ordinary person who finds himself in extraordinary circumstances. Dan made his comic debut in a short story that appeared in Green Wheat #2 in September 1973. Corben further developed the short story into two parts to be published in the French magazine Metal Harland in 1975 through 1976. He continued the story, turning it into a 12-part series entitled Dan for the first 12 issues of Heavy Metal magazine in 1977 through 1978. He added an epilogue, Dan's Farewell, which was published in issue 13 in April 1978. David Ellis Norman, from which the acronym Dan comes from, was an engineer from contemporary Kansas who moved to a world of violence and great adventures full of barbarians, witches, horrible monsters, voluptuous women. In a transfer, the physical appearance of the character underwent a transformation from a puny and peaceful man to a muscular hero. On this strange and surreal planet, Dan must navigate a series of bizarre and dangerous encounters with various creatures, both friends and enemy, as he seeks to uncover the secrets of this new world and find a way back to his own. Throughout the series, Dan's journey takes him through a variety of strange and fantastical landscapes, including deserts, mountains, and underground caves, while he battles with monsters and confronts various challenges. Dan is known for its highly detailed and visually stunning artwork, as well as its mature themes and graphic violence. It has been praised for its creativity, originality, and dark humor, and has become a cult favorite among fans of science fiction and horror comics. David Ellis Norman, also known as Dan, is a young man who, following directions left for him on a note for his missing uncle Dan, David builds an electronic machine. The machine opens a gate to a fantasy world named Neverwhere, where he is transformed into a hairless, nude, muscular adventurer. Catherine Wells, a frail novelist who is also transported to the alien world. She serves as a guide and ally to Dan and helps him to understand the strange new world he finds himself in. Sek, an evil wizard, warlord, father of Skun. Skun, son of old Sek, has become Dan's enemy by coveting the Nar stones. Kill, a warrior queen arriving from space to Neverwhere, is responsible for the survival of her people. These are just a few of the characters that take part in Dan's adventures, but the truth is that in the series there are many other creatures and characters who play important roles in Dan's journey. Following the chronology of Deng can be complicated, since his stories are spread out in different magazines, comic series, and the animated short film that gave rise to everything. Plus, his stories are told in extended flashbacks, dreams, and visions, so it is not a linear reading. The following is a chronologically organized list of Deng's stories and adventures. In 1981, animated film Heavy Metal includes a segment based on Richard Corben's Deng comic book series and was directed by Jack Stokes. The film adaptation follows the basic plot of the comic book series, with the young protagonist David Ellis Norman being transported to a distant alien world. Once there, he encounters a variety of strange and often dangerous creatures, while he searches for a way to return home. The Deng segment in Heavy Metal features the same highly detailed and surreal artwork that is characteristic of Corben's comic book series, and also includes the same mature themes and graphic violence. The animation is fluid and dynamic, with a vibrant color palette that brings the strange alien landscapes to life. The film adaptation of Deng has been praised for its faithful adaptation of the source material and its stunning visual style. The Deng segment of Heavy Metal has become a cult favorite among fans of science fiction and fantasy animation. It has also helped to popularize Corben's Deng comic book series among wider audience. Richard Corben's Deng had a significant impact on the world of comics and science fiction fantasy storytelling. The story helped to push the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in mainstream comics at the time. The series dealt with mature themes and featured graphic violence and sexual content, which was not typically seen in comics aimed at a mainstream audience. This helped to pave the way for other comics and graphic novels that tackled similarly mature subject matter. The series helped to establish the convention of the strange new world subgenre, in which a character is transported to an unfamiliar and often dangerous world that they must navigate and survive. This subgenre has since become a staple of science fiction and fantasy storytelling in comics, literature, and film. Deng helped to establish Richard Corben as a major creative force in the world of comics. His distinctive style of highly detailed and surreal artwork, combined with his imaginative storytelling, helped to set him apart from other artists and writers of the time. Corben went on to have a long and successful career in comics, producing many other influential works. Overall, Richard Corben's Deng is considered a classic of the science fiction and fantasy genre and has had lasting impact on the world of comics. Its mature themes, stunning artwork, and inventive storytelling continue to inspire and influence creators today.